In an unexpected surprise and soon to be the subject of international public talk, Jungkook, BTS's youngest member, reportedly left Jin's second solo concert in Los Angeles ahead of his schedule. The incident took place just minutes before Jin performed a highly emotional closing song, The Astronaut, in which Jungkook's absence in the climactic moment immediately sparked widespread speculation. Is this a sign of a serious problem behind the stage? Or is this just a coincidence that is interpreted too far by the public? This question does not arise without reason. Jungkook had previously looked very enthusiastic at the beginning of the concert. Several cameras captured moments of him standing up, giving long applause, even shouting, "Hyung, you did it," when Jin opened the performance with Moon. But surprisingly, towards the end of the concert session, the seat that Jungkook had previously occupied was empty. This fact immediately caught the attention of fans and the media, considering that Jin and Jungkook are known to have a very close personal relationship, more than just group mates. The situation was further complicated when video footage from the audience showed security staff and personal bodyguards accompanying Jungkook out through a backstage pass, without any official explanation. Until this article was published, there has been no direct statement from HYBE labels or from Jungkook himself. This silence provoked various speculations, ranging from a possible sudden health condition, mental stress, to more provocative rumors about the existence of internal tensions that had been hidden from the public. It's important to note that the moment Jungkook left the arena came as Jin was preparing to enter the most emotional part of the concert, performing Epiphany and The Astronaut as the climax of the entire show. Many have asked, why is Jungkook, who is known to cherish emotional moments like this, absent at the most crucial moment? Was there really an urgent reason for him to leave, or did he choose not to watch that part? Social media was soon filled with speculation. On TikTok and Twitter, various conspiracy theories have emerged. Some suggested that Jungkook might be uncomfortable with something happening backstage. Others have pointed out that Jungkook is under pressure that has yet to be revealed to the public, especially after his recent solo comeback that drew criticism and praise at the same time. Are the pressures of these two worlds, personal success and loyalty to the group, beginning to show their cracks? There are also those who associate Jungkook's departure with the internal dynamics of BTS, which has been closed from the media spotlight. Is it possible that there was a difference of opinion between Jin and Jungkook regarding the direction of their respective careers post-enlistment? Does Jin's concert, which is now running on a massive scale and has tremendous global appeal, indirectly create its own pressure for other members who are undergoing a transitional phase in their solo careers? In the midst of all that, some fans opted for a more rational approach. They mentioned the possibility that Jungkook would have to attend to a personal agenda, perhaps a medical or a sudden job that could not be postponed. However, the lack of clarification from the agency makes speculation continue to thrive. In fact, some fans judged that Jungkook's absence from Jin's peak performance was not just a minor incident, but rather a symbol of something deeper and complex in terms of public communication. This incident reflects HYBE's failure to manage perceptions quickly and appropriately. In today's entertainment world, where an artist's every move is recorded and analyzed second by second, silence can trigger an even greater uproar than clarification. Why has not a single official representative issued a statement to calm the public? Isn't this just opening up space for rumors and divisions of perception among the army? Another fact that cannot be ignored is that Jin himself did not comment on Jungkook's departure as he closed the concert. Usually, Jin is known as an expressive figure in response to the little things that happen around him. That night, however, not a single sentence from him mentioned Jungkook's name, not even in his thanks to BTS colleagues and staff present. Is this a form of caution or a gesture of tension that is being kept from sticking out to the public? In the midst of this uncertain situation, The most important question remains, is what we saw that night evidence of an internal rift, or is it just a portrait of an ordinary human being who can also be tired, uncomfortable, or even experiencing unexplained personal disturbances? Responsible journalism must recognize that the information currently circulating comes from audience footage, social media footage, and unofficial reports. Therefore, any form of conclusion should be suspended until the official clarification is released. But that does not mean the public has no right to ask and question the strangeness that happened. As an intelligent audience, we should not take for granted any narrative that goes viral without evaluating the source, motive, and context. Did Jungkook really leave the concert for valid and human reasons? Or is this a reflection of the internal friction that has been successfully hidden? And if there really is a problem behind the scenes, does the public deserve to know everything? Or is there a limit to privacy that should still be maintained? This event, at first glance, seems small. Only one person got out of the concert early. But in BTS's world, where every action carries symbolic meaning, silence and absence speak louder than applause and words. Now the public is waiting. Not just clarification, but clarity. Because in an era where truth can be defeated by virality, the only way to maintain the integrity of information is to keep questioning everything. And that night, one question echoed louder than any song. Why did Jungkook leave before Jin's concert was over? Jungkook's absence at the end of Jin's concert has not only been the subject of public discussion, but has evolved into an object of social investigation, where every gesture is examined, every expression interpreted, and every absence questioned. The question now is not only why Jungkook left the concert early, but also, what is really going on behind the scenes of the K-pop industry that has been known to be so controlled and almost sterile from open conflict? The atmosphere of suspicion increased when some fans noticed that some video clips showing Jungkook's sudden departure began to be taken down from certain social media, especially from platforms commonly used by international fandom. This move, for some, is considered a form of narrative control, an attempt to stifle speculation before it has time to expand further. But for others, this only increases suspicion. If there is nothing to hide, why should the content be removed? HYB's side, until 24 hours after the concert took place, has not released a single official statement. No clarification, no press release, no explanation. Shut up. In a world of crisis communication, this kind of silence can be very detrimental, especially when the public is in a state of questioning. Public confidence in the official narrative can collapse just because of one little thing that is not immediately explained, and this is where the big dilemma arises. How far does the public have a right to know? As global artists, BTS members, personal lives are always in the spotlight. But events like these, those that take place in public spaces, in large events, with thousands of witnesses and millions of online viewers, are no longer completely private. It is part of the mass communication ecosystem. So, when a member of a group as big as Jungkook suddenly disappears from the most important moment of Jin's solo concert, it's only natural that the public feels the need to get a reasonable explanation. Some fan sites and observers of the K-pop industry tried to dampen the tension by putting forward a mild hypothesis. It is likely that Jungkook has a mild health disorder, or has to follow an urgent call from the management. But the absence of an official statement keeps all those possibilities in the realm of speculation, and any speculation that isn't addressed can soon develop into a larger narrative and put reputations at risk. IT should be understood. The South Korean entertainment industry, especially when it comes to idol management, has a long history of filtering information. Not all facts are reported, not all internal dynamics are revealed. So it's only natural that the public is now starting to question, was what happened that night just an ordinary incident? Or was it part of a larger puzzle about BTS's internal dynamics post-enlistment? Differences in career direction, industry pressures, public demands, as well as a never ending emotional burden. All of these are realities that BTS members face day in and day out. Is it possible that Jungkook's departure that night was a signal of fatigue? Or is it a form of silent protest against something that does not go according to the values they hold so far? The public should not rush to conclusions. However, the public also has the right to question any irregularities, not to create additional drama, but as an effort to maintain transparency in an entertainment industry that is increasingly blurring the line between reality and engineering. Now, attention is focused on two things: an official statement that has not yet been released, and whether Jin himself will give a personal response to Jungkook's absence at the final moment of the concert. Not a few fans expect Jin to provide a small clarification through the Weverse platform or the next interview, even if it's just a short statement like, "Jungkook had to leave early due to personal matters." Such a simple sentence can drown out many doubts and stop the wave of speculation. However, if this silence continues, it is likely that there will be a fragmentation of the narrative among fans. Some will remain in a neutral position. Others will begin to doubt the internal integrity of the group, and it is possible that friction will arise between fans who have different views on what is really happening. Finally, it's a great lesson in how one small act in the world of modern entertainment can spark global discussion. One step out of the concert arena is no longer just a personal act. It is part of a grand narrative that is widely observed, analyzed, and debated. So we invite readers to reflect again. Do we really know the truth of what happened that night? Or are we just consuming illusions formed by fragments of incomplete information? Are we looking for the truth, or just the convenience of a believable narrative? And further, is it possible that the world of entertainment has been structured in such a way as to make us cry, cheer, even suspect, solely for the sake of keeping the thrill alive? In a world where narratives are formed faster than the truth can be revealed, the only tool left in the public's hands is healthy skepticism. Keep asking. Keep thinking critically. Because perhaps behind a grandiose concert full of cheers and tears, there is an inaudible truth, because it has not yet been, or deliberately is not revealed. But the crucial question now is not just about Jungkook's departure from Jin's concert. A deeper and far more important question to examine is, are we really witnessing a real event, or is it part of a narrative that has been carefully designed to shape public perception? In this postmodern era, the boundaries between reality and media construction have become increasingly blurred. Video shows, snippets of images, to fandom comments can be processed and reprojected many times to form an opinion that the public believes to be the absolute truth. So, we must ask, is the information we receive today a fact? Or is it just an illusion built by the media system and the entertainment industry? It should be noted that most of the data that spreads regarding this incident comes from video cuts on TikTok, Twitter/X uploads, comments on international forums, as well as edited rebroadcasts on YouTube. None of those sources can be considered journalistically valid primary evidence. In fact, not a few alleged content has been manipulated, either intentionally to cause a sensation, or unintentionally due to the limited perspective of the content creator. Then a follow-up question arises. Why are we, as a public, so quick to accept the narrative that Jungkook left the concert because of something serious, without first demanding factual clarification? Why is it that our first instinct is to speculate, not to seek verification? Is it because the K-pop industry has been so successful in inculcating a culture of emotional attachment that public logic is often pushed aside by affective impulses? These questions are not only important to explain the Jungkook incident specifically, but also touch on the ethical realm of information consumption in general. In a world full of opinions and noise, the ability to sort out what is real and what is a construction is the most essential thing. Unfortunately, this ability is often obscured by social media algorithms, the emotional drive of the fan community, and the grand narrative already ingrained in our minds about the perfect harmony behind BTS's image. Furthermore, we must dare to question the following possibilities. Is this incident, in the form and scale that we see, part of a strategic communications agenda aimed at provoking a public response? In the realm of the global entertainment industry, shock engineering, small controlled crises, even light conflicts between members are often used as covert marketing tools. Is it possible that Jungkook's absence at the end of this concert is included in that strategy? Nevertheless, it is also important to underline that making such claims without solid evidence is unethical. We must not slip into a conspiratorial mindset, but at the same time, refusing to question critically just for fear of being considered unfaithful is also a dangerous form of informational pacifism. Then the only rational path is healthy skepticism, open to possibilities, but still relying on the principle of verification. This attitude is very relevant in the absence of official statements from HYB and Jin and Jungkook themselves. When silence is used as an answer to public doubts, the space for interpretation becomes wild. And when that space is overrun by speculation, then reputations, even those that have been built up over the years, can be shaken in just one night. I ask this a form of communication negligence on the part of management? Or is it just part of the let the public shape their own narrative approach? This question is important because in an era where fandom plays an active role in crafting an artist's narrative, clarity on the part of management is no longer optional, but rather a necessity. If this event is really personal and not related to the internal dynamics of BTS, then a brief explanation will be enough to calm the public. But if there is no statement, then it is not impossible that public opinion will begin to create assumptions that lead to internal conflicts, career direction splits, or even misalignment between members and management. The public is now at a crossroads between maintaining faith in the official narrative that has not come to pass, or starting to form its own version of the truth based on limited interpretations. This is where the importance of media and journalism to play a role, not as a spreader of sensation, but as a facilitator of critical thinking space. Therefore, we invite readers not to swallow raw any information that appears. Ask yourself, do I really know what happened that night? Or do I just know the version presented by social media? Why do I so easily believe in a particular narrative when I have no direct evidence? Am I looking for the truth, or just justifying the narrative I want most? And further, is it possible that in a world of global entertainment that is so controlled, we are all just spectators in a big drama whose script we never really know? In this situation, there is only one form of defense: critical thinking. Don't let algorithms replace your common sense. Don't let feelings replace logic. And do not let silence fill the space of truth with lies. We acknowledge that all of these reports are based on observations of digital platforms such as TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and fandom discussions. However, as we have emphasized from the beginning, all this information is still tentative and needs to be further verified by official parties. Therefore, we do not claim the absolute truth of the events taking place, but simply invite all of you to participate in a healthy, reflective, and unhurried thought process in concluding, because in the end, it's not just the concert that's at stake here, but it's public trust, artist credibility, and narrative integrity that shape the face of the entertainment industry itself.